Discussion on the causes of nullifying the fast and the rules regarding Kaffara, expiation. Causes of nullifying the fast. There are multiple causes for the nullification of a fast. The fast is nullified in the following scenarios. 1. If the fasting person craves food and eats it. 2. If the fasting person uses medicine without a reason sanctioned by Sharia. 3. If the fasting person drinks water or any kind of beverage. 4. If the fasting person engages in sexual intercourse with their spouse. 5. If the fasting person swallows raindrops. 6. If the fasting person chews and eats a grain of wheat or an object of equivalent size. 7. If the fasting person chews and eats something other than a grain of wheat. 8. If the fasting person chews and eats a mustard seed or anything else from outside. 9. If the fasting person eats even a small amount of salt. 10. If the fasting person inhales smoke from a bidi, cigarette, or hookah. 11. If the fasting person is in the habit of eating soil and eats it. Conditions for Kaffara, expiation, being wajib, obligatory. If the fast is broken for any reason, Kaffara must be paid. Kaffara becomes mandatory if the following conditions are fully met. 1. Eating or drinking something while observing the fast of Ramadan. This rule applies to those observing the fast, not to those who do not. Furthermore, this rule is not effective while observing qaza, make-up, fasts of Ramadan. 2. Eating or drinking something intentionally. However, this rule is not effective if something is eaten by mistake. 3. This rule is not effective if one eats sari thinking the night is still. Remaining or breaks the fast, iftar, thinking the sun has set. 4. The fasting person is not in a state of desperation or helplessness regarding eating and drinking. If one eats or drinks out of desperation, Kaffara is not wajib. 5. The fasting person is not a victim of coercion regarding eating and drinking. If someone forces the fasting person to eat something, this rule is not effective. Method of paying Kaffara for fasting. The method of paying Kaffara for fasting varies. The methods are as follows. 1. Freeing a slave, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. 2. Fasting for 2 consecutive months such that the days of Eid and the days of Tashriq, i.e. the 11th, 12th, and 13th of Dhul Hijjah, do not fall within these 2 months. 3. Feeding 60 miskeens, needy people, with average quality food that the fasting person usually eats. Kaffara becomes wajib in this sequence. A person who does not have the ability to free a slave will fast for 2 consecutive months. If unable to do that, he will feed 60 miskeens. Each miskeen must be given enough food to eat 2 meals to their fill with satisfaction. It is wajib that among the miskeens, there is no one whose maintenance is obligatory upon the fasting person, such as parents, children, etc. If the fasting person wishes to give food grains to the miskeens, it is obligatory upon him to provide each miskeen with half a sa of wheat or flour, or the value of half a sa of wheat, or 1 sa of barley or dates, or the value of 1 sa of barley, or the value of 1 sa of dates. Situations where qaza is wajib without kaffara. In the following scenarios, the fast will be corrupted, fasid, and observing qaza, make-up, becomes wajib. But kaffara will not be wajib. For example, 1. If the fasting person breaks the fast due to a valid reason approved by Sharia, such as travel, illness, pregnancy, unconsciousness, etc. 2. If the fasting person eats something that is generally not eaten and does not fulfill the appetite of the stomach. For example, taking medicine for a Sharia-recognized reason, or eating flour, dough, a large amount of salt, cotton, paper, date pits, or soil. 3. If an object is swallowed, such as gold, silver, iron, etc. 4. If the fasting person is forced to eat or drink something. 5. If the fasting person eats or drinks something out of desperation. 6. If the fasting person eats assuming the night is remaining or breaks the fast assuming the sun has set, but in reality, Subhi Sadiq, true dawn, had occurred or the sun had not yet set. 7. If water enters the stomach while the fasting person is gargling or putting water in the nose. 8. If the fasting person intentionally vomits a mouthful. 9. If raindrops or hailstones enter the fasting person's throat unintentionally. 10. If a fast other than the Ramadan fast is broken. 11. If the fasting person voluntarily allows smoke to enter his throat. 12. If an object the size of a chickpea is stuck in the fasting person's teeth and he eats it. 13. If the fasting person eats intentionally after having eaten by mistake. 14. If the fasting person eats after making the intention during the day, having not made the intention at night. 15. If someone is a traveler, musafir, in the morning and intends iqama, residency, i.e., to stay for 15 days, and then eats something. 16. If someone was a resident, mukim, in the morning, then travels, and subsequently eats something. 17. If someone abstains from food and drink all day but did not make the intention to fast, nor did he make the intention that he is not a fasting person. 18. If the fasting person introduces oil or water drops into his ear. 19. If the fasting person introduces medicine into his nose. 20. If the fasting person uses medicine on a wound in his stomach or head, and it reaches the stomach or brain. Through any one of these causes, any person's fast of Ramadan may be nullified. To protect the sanctity of Ramadan, it is wajib to abstain from eating and drinking for the remainder of the day.